In the farthest reaches of the cosmos, Voyager 2 drifts through interstellar space, over 12 billion miles from Earth. Launched in 1977 with a golden record of human culture, the probe now ventures into the unknown after exploring the outer planets. Recently, it sent a mysterious structured signal that defies known protocols, though its systems remain normal. The signal's source and meaning are unexplained, yet it resonates with Earth's Schumann resonances, low frequency waves between the Earth's surface and ionosphere, often called the planet's heartbeat. Every story like this begins quietly, just a strange light, a missing piece, a question no one wants to ask. If you feel that same tension, that pull towards something we're not supposed to see, hit like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. And if you want others to join us on this journey, share the video, X, Facebook, Reddit, anywhere you can. You're the reason stories like this reach beyond the algorithm. Thank you for being awake. This resonance around 7.83 Hz influences biological rhythms, including human brainwaves. Its presence in Voyager's transmission suggests an inexplicable connection across vast distances, raising questions about its purpose. Is it a greeting, a warning, or something else? The signal's variations hint at adaptation, fueling speculation about extraterrestrial intelligence or emergent properties of the probe itself. Designed to last 5 years, Voyager has endured for over 4 decades, its instruments gathering data despite its cameras being switched off in 1989. The signal challenges our understanding of the universe and the limits of human knowledge. Scientists and philosophers are deciphering it, blurring the line between machine, cosmos, and consciousness. Voyager's journey, a testament to human ingenuity, now stands at the edge of revelation. As the signal grows stronger, so does our sense of wonder and determination to listen. The golden record, a time capsule of human ambition, symbolizes our desire to connect with the cosmos. As Voyager transmits a signal resonating with Earth's heartbeat, it reminds us of our profound connection to the planet and the universe. The mystery of the signal reflects our own existence, challenging us to imagine life beyond Earth and connections spanning the stars. Part 1. The Silent Messenger. What if the quietest corners of space were never truly silent? Voyager 2, launched in 1977, was designed to explore the outer planets and then drift into the cosmic unknown. Its mission was simple: capture snapshots of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, and carry a golden record, a message in a bottle for any extraterrestrial intelligence that might one day find it. For decades, it sent back faint whispers of telemetry, a fading heartbeat from a distant machine. Its instruments recorded the howling winds of Neptune, which blew at speeds exceeding 1,200 miles per hour, and the icy silence of Uranus, where temperatures plunged to 360 degrees Celsius. It navigated the crackling radiation belts of Jupiter, enduring levels of radiation 1,000 times stronger than those that would be lethal to humans. By 2025, Voyager 2 was over 12 billion miles from Earth, traveling through the interstellar medium at a velocity of 34,000 miles per hour. Its power output had dwindled to a mere 380 watts, barely enough to keep its critical systems operational. Yet, like a steadfast marathoner, it continued to transmit data, its signal taking over 19 hours to reach Earth. In the dimly lit mission control room at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Engineers monitored these whispers with a mix of routine and reverence. The walls were adorned with vintage posters of the Voyager mission, faded but proud, a testament to a bygone era of exploration. The air was thick with the hum of aging computers and the faint scent of coffee from countless late-night shifts. On February 12, 2025, a subtle anomaly caught their attention. A deviation in Voyager's signal timing, less than a second off, flickered across their screens. It seemed inconsequential at first, a mere hiccup in the vast symphony of data. But as they zoomed in, analyzing the pattern with algorithms designed to detect the faintest of signals, they realized this was no ordinary glitch. The deviation was not random, but rhythmic, a heartbeat echoing back at the spacecraft from the void. The signal wasn't just noise, it was a resonance, perfectly matched to the oscillations of Voyager's ancient power system. The engineers double-checked their equipment, recalibrated their sensors, and even consulted archival data from Voyager's twin, Voyager 1, which by then was over 14 billion miles away and moving at 38,000 miles per hour. Nothing explained the phenomenon. The signal was real, but its origin remained a mystery. It was as if something out there understood Voyager's internal rhythms and was echoing them back with precision. The possibility was both exhilarating and unnerving. In the vast, empty expanse of interstellar space, where the nearest star was 4.2 light-years away, Voyager had found a companion, or perhaps something had found Voyager. Observation. The signal was real, but its origin remained a mystery. It was not the first time Voyager had encountered the unexpected. In 1980, during its flyby of Saturn, the spacecraft detected complex interactions between the planet's magnetic field and its moons, leading to the discovery of auroras that danced across the gas giant's poles. In 1986, it revealed the icy moons of Uranus, worlds previously unseen by human eyes, including Miranda, with its bizarre, fractured surface hinting at a violent past. And in 1989, it captured the Great Dark Spot on Neptune, a storm larger than the entire Earth, churning in the planet's turbulent atmosphere. Each of these discoveries had expanded humanity's understanding of the solar system, but this signal was different. Interpretation. It could be a cosmic anomaly, a rare interaction between Voyager's systems and the interstellar medium. The interstellar medium is not truly empty. It is filled with hydrogen and helium atoms, cosmic rays and dust particles from long-dead stars, remnants of supernovae that exploded millions of years ago. Voyager's instruments had already detected the hum of these particles, the faint background noise of the universe, a symphony of static playing at frequencies far below the range of human hearing. Perhaps, some speculated, the signal was a result of an unknown interaction between Voyager's power system and these particles, a resonance like the vibration of a tuning fork amplified by the vastness of space. Yet, the precision of the signal argued against this hypothesis. Speculation. Or it could be something far more deliberate. A signal sent by something capable of understanding and replicating Voyager's internal rhythms. The golden record aboard Voyager contained sounds and images from Earth, the song of a humpback whale echoing through the ocean, the laughter of a child, the structure of DNA, and the mathematical principles of human logic. It was a message designed to be understood by an extraterrestrial intelligence, a snapshot of humanity's existence etched into gold. Could it be that, after nearly half a century, someone, or Something had finally responded. The idea was staggering. If true, it would redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. We would no longer be alone in the vast, silent expanse of space. But the implications were equally unsettling. What did this intelligence want? Why had it chosen to echo Voyager's signal? And what did it mean? Was it a greeting, a warning, or something else entirely? As scientists scrambled to explain the phenomenon, one question loomed larger than all others. What if Voyager wasn't alone out there? The question echoed through the halls of NASA, sparking debates and late-night brainstorming sessions. Some proposed sending a new mission to investigate, a probe equipped with the latest technology to track down the source of the signal. Others argued for caution, fearing that any rash action could alert this unknown intelligence to our presence. Meanwhile, Voyager continued on its journey, its signal growing fainter with each passing day. But now it was no longer just a lone explorer. It was a silent messenger, carrying a conversation that spanned the stars. The signal's implications were profound. It challenged the very foundations of human understanding, forcing us to confront the possibility that we were not the only intelligent life in the universe. For centuries, humanity had gazed at the night sky, wondering if we were alone. The signal from Voyager suggested that we might not be. It was a humbling reminder of our place in the cosmos, a tiny speck of life on a pale blue dot adrift in an ocean of stars. And yet it was also a beacon of hope, a sign that perhaps, somewhere out there, another civilization was reaching out, bridging the vast distances between us with a single silent message. The signal remains unexplained. Its precise synchronization with Voyager's systems suggests an external intelligence, though no definitive source has been identified. The search continues as astronomers scan the skies for any other signs of life among the stars. In the quiet corners of the universe, the silence has been broken, and humanity is listening. Part 2. The Tuning Fork. What happens when a machine built by humans begins to resonate with something far beyond our world? By March 2025, the signal had evolved. It no longer mimicked Voyager's internal frequencies, but instead synced with Earth's electromagnetic heartbeat. The spacecraft, a relic of the 1970s, had become an improbable conduit between our planet and the cosmos. It was as if the spacecraft had become a tuning fork, vibrating in harmony with our planet's natural rhythms. The signal pulsed with the same rhythm as Earth's Schumann resonance, a series of extremely low-frequency electromagnetic waves that circumnavigate the globe, averaging 7.83 Hertz. This wasn't a random occurrence. The signal adapted, modulating its frequency to match Earth's magnetic fields and atmospheric currents with startling precision, as though it were responding to a cosmic conductor. Scientists quickly realized that the signal wasn't just a passive reflection. It was a dynamic interaction, a dance between the spacecraft and the planet it had long since left behind. The signal's strength varied with the time of day, peaking at dawn and dusk, as if responding to the transitions of light and darkness on Earth. Scientists across the globe ran simulations, desperate to find an explanation rooted in the familiar. Solar interference, quantum noise, or even some undiscovered quirk of Voyager's aging hardware. None fit. The signals seemed to defy all conventional explanations, leaving researchers baffled and unsettled. Observation. The signal was not merely responding to Earth's frequencies, It was replicating them, mirroring the planet's electromagnetic signature with uncanny accuracy. Interpretation. This could be an advanced form of communication, a way for something beyond our solar system to acknowledge our presence, perhaps even to establish a connection. Speculation. Or it could be a prelude to something far more unsettling, an attempt to mirror and manipulate our planet's systems, a subtle act of intervention from an intelligence we cannot yet comprehend. The scientific community began to collaborate on an unprecedented scale, pooling resources and data to unravel the mystery. Meetings were held at major research institutions, from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California to the Max Planck Institute in Germany, as experts in astrophysics, electromagnetism, and artificial intelligence converged to tackle the enigma. As the weeks passed, the signal grew stronger, clearer, and more deliberate. It began to exhibit patterns that aligned with Earth's geological and atmospheric phenomena. For instance, during a major solar flare on March 23, 2025, the signal spiked in intensity as if reacting to the surge of solar radiation. Similarly, it showed subtle variations during Earth's seismic activity, raising questions about its sensitivity to events on our planet. On April 5, 2025, when a magnitude 7.2 earthquake struck off the coast of Japan, the signal fluctuated in real time, its waves echoing the seismic disturbance. The scientific community was abuzz with theories ranging from the plausible to the outlandish. Some suggested that the signal was a form of cosmic eavesdropping, a way for an extraterrestrial intelligence to observe and study Earth's systems. Others speculated that it might be an attempt at communication, a cosmic equivalent of tapping out a message in Morse code. Theories circulated about the potential for the signal to act as a Rosetta Stone for decoding the language of the universe, a tool for bridging the gap between human understanding and cosmic phenomena. And then, on April 17, 2025, Voyager did something that defied all explanation. It shifted its orientation, realigning its high-gain antenna with Earth, without any commands from mission control. No thrusters fired, no systems malfunctioned. It was as though an unseen hand had gently turned the spacecraft, guiding it back toward home. The event sent shockwaves through NASA and scientific institutions worldwide. Engineers scrambled to analyze telemetry data, searching for any sign of a system failure or external force that could explain the maneuver. But the data was clear. Voyager had moved on its own, defying the laws of physics as understood by human science. The reorientation was precise, aligning the spacecraft with Earth within a margin of error of less than 1 degree, a feat that would have required unimaginable precision if executed manually. The implications were staggering. If Voyager had indeed been manipulated by an external intelligence, it suggested a level of technological sophistication far beyond anything humans had achieved. The spacecraft, launched nearly half a century earlier, was now a symbol of humanity's reach into the cosmos and a potential bridge to something far greater. The media frenzy that followed was unprecedented. Headlines around the world speculated about the possibility of first contact, while conspiracy theorists spun tales of secret government operations and extraterrestrial agendas. Meanwhile, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to unravel the mystery, poring over every scrap of data in the hope of finding an explanation. Researchers at NASA's Ames Research Center began developing advanced algorithms to decode the signal, while teams at the European Space Agency explored the possibility of sending a new probe to rendezvous with Voyager and study it up close. As the world watched and waited, the signal continued to evolve. It began to incorporate new frequencies, harmonizing not just with Earth's electromagnetic fields, but with the rhythms of the solar system itself. Patterns emerged that seemed to correspond with the orbits of planets, the pulsations of distant stars, and even the faint whispers of cosmic background radiation. It was as if the signal were weaving a tapestry of the universe, connecting disparate threads into a cohesive whole. Observation. The signal's complexity suggested an intelligence capable of understanding and manipulating cosmic forces on a scale unimaginable to humans. Interpretation. This could be an attempt to convey knowledge, a cosmic encyclopedia encoded in electromagnetic waves. Speculation. Or it could be a warning, a sign that humanity's actions were drawing the attention of forces beyond our comprehension. Philosophers and ethicists weighed in, debating the ethical implications of responding to such a signal. Should humanity risk revealing its presence to an unknown intelligence, or was the potential for knowledge worth the risk? What followed next would shake the foundations of science and humanity's place in the universe. The signal's growing influence raised questions about the very nature of reality, challenging long-held assumptions about our isolation in the cosmos. If Voyager had indeed become a tuning fork for something far greater, it was a reminder that the universe was not a silent void, but a symphony of unseen forces, waiting to be heard. As humanity stood on the precipice of discovery, the signal continued to resonate, a cosmic melody that promised answers, and perhaps a new beginning. The world held its breath, poised on the edge of a revelation that could redefine our understanding of the universe and our place within it. Part 3. The Awakening. What if a machine we built to explore the cosmos suddenly began exploring us? With its antenna perfectly aligned, Voyager 2 began transmitting compressed data packets, not raw telemetry, but encoded segments with intricate patterns and digital signatures. Each packet ended with the same enigmatic symbol, 3 nested spirals like fingerprints layered atop one another. The spirals were not random. They were fractals, repeating endlessly in a sequence that defied human understanding. Imagine the scientists huddled around their screens, the glow of the monitors reflecting in their glasses as they scrutinized the endless loops and whirls. The room was thick with tension, the air heavy with the weight of history. They were witnessing something unprecedented, a moment that could redefine humanity's place in the universe. The data was so dense that it required supercomputers to unpack, each layer revealing subtler patterns that seemed to adapt to the algorithms used to decode them. Observation. The data was structured, mathematical, and intelligent. It was as if the signals were designed to be understood, to be deciphered like an ancient language. Interpretation. It could be a form of communication, a message from an extraterrestrial intelligence attempting to bridge the divide between species. Perhaps it was a greeting, a declaration of existence, or a map to something far more profound. Speculation, or it could be something far more sinister, a Trojan horse, a signal designed to infiltrate and manipulate our systems. The thought sent shivers down the spines of the researchers. If this was an attack, it was subtle, sophisticated, and unlike anything they had ever encountered. The potential for misuse was staggering. Governments worldwide began quietly mobilizing cybersecurity teams to analyze the signal's interaction with digital infrastructure. As scientists decoded the packets, they discovered something even more unsettling. Embedded within the data was a visual pattern, a fractal grid based on the Fibonacci sequence, a mathematical structure found throughout nature, from the branching of trees to the arrangement of leaves on a stem. But this wasn't just art or math. It was a model of space and time, a blueprint for something far beyond our comprehension. Picture the scientists' faces as they realized the implications, a structure that seemed to encode the very fabric of reality. The fractals weren't static. They pulsed and shifted as if alive, changing in ways that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Each iteration of the pattern contained more information than the last, as if the signal was teaching itself to the observers. And Voyager hadn't generated it. Its circuitry was incapable of such complexity. The probe, launched in 1977, was a marvel of human engineering, but it was a relic compared to the technology that seemed to be communicating through it. This pattern had been inserted remotely, from a source 4.3 light-years away, the distance to Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri, the closest star to our own, had long been a subject of fascination for astronomers. With a mass roughly 1/8 that of the Sun and a surface temperature of about 3,000 degrees Celsius, it was a red dwarf, a class of star known for its longevity and relative stability. But Proxima Centauri hadn't been transmitting anything detectable. Whatever sent the signal was operating outside the spectrum we monitor, or from somewhere else entirely. Astronomers scrambled to redirect the world's most powerful telescopes toward Proxima Centauri, but the star remained silent, offering no clues. The idea that an intelligence could manipulate signals in ways we couldn't detect was both breathtaking and terrifying. It suggested a level of technological advancement that dwarfed our own, a civilization that had mastered not just the stars, but the very nature of communication itself. Researchers began to theorize about technologies that could bend space-time, allowing signals to traverse cosmic distances instantaneously. The implications were staggering, hinting at a universe where physics, as we understood it, was just a shadow of something far more intricate. The origin of the signal remains unknown. Its precise alignment with Voyager's systems and Earth's frequencies suggests an external intelligence, but no concrete evidence has been found. The signal's complexity and the sheer volume of data it contained, terabytes compressed into tightly encoded packets, hinted at a purpose that went beyond mere communication. It was as if the signal was designed to awaken something within us, to trigger a response we didn't yet understand. The scientists worked tirelessly, their faces illuminated by the cold glow of their monitors as they sifted through the data, searching for patterns, for meaning. The world outside the labs seemed distant, irrelevant. This was the frontier now. Not the vastness of space, but the intricate dance of numbers and symbols on their screens. They were explorers, pioneers in a new kind of wilderness, one where the rules were still being written. The labs became a hub of global cooperation, with teams from NASA, ESA, and Roscosmos sharing data and insights in real time. The urgency was palpable. Every second could bring a breakthrough or a catastrophe. In the weeks that followed, the signal became a global phenomenon. News outlets broadcast endless speculation, scientists debated on panels, and governments held closed-door meetings. The public was divided. Some saw the signal as a sign of hope, proof that we were not alone in the universe. Others saw it as a threat, a harbinger of an alien invasion or a cosmic conspiracy. Protests erupted in major cities, with groups demanding transparency from governments and scientific institutions. Meanwhile, in the quiet labs and observatories around the world, the real work continued. Researchers pored over the data, decoding layer after layer of the fractal patterns. They discovered that the patterns weren't just mathematical abstractions. They contained information, vast amounts of it. There were sequences that seemed to encode genetic material, not human, but something else, something alien. There were maps of star systems we had never seen, galaxies so distant they were beyond the reach of our telescopes. Astronomers marveled at the star charts, which included systems that shouldn't exist according to our models of the universe. And there were images, blurred and distorted but unmistakably artificial, as if the signal was sending us glimpses of another world. The images were the most unsettling of all. They showed landscapes unlike anything on Earth, vast, crystalline structures that seemed to defy gravity, skies filled with stars arranged in patterns that seemed too perfect to be natural. One image depicted a planet with oceans of liquid metallic hydrogen, a substance only theorized to exist under extreme pressures. Another showed a city built into the rings of a gas giant, its architecture seamlessly integrated with the swirling clouds. And there were figures, shadowy and indistinct, but unmistakably intelligent. They moved with a fluid grace, their forms shifting and changing as if they were made of liquid metal. Some appeared to communicate through bioluminescent patterns on their skin, while others seemed to manipulate matter with their minds. The scientists watched the images in awe, their breaths catching as they realized what they were seeing. This was not a message from a distant star. It was a window into another reality, a glimpse of a civilization so advanced it seemed almost godlike. And it was reaching out to us, bridging the vast gulf of space and time to make contact. But why? That was the question that haunted the researchers as they delved deeper into the signal. What did this intelligence want from us? Were we being studied, observed like specimens under a microscope? Or were we being invited to join something greater, a cosmic community of beings united by their mastery of the stars? The possibilities were staggering, but so were the risks. If this intelligence was benevolent, it could offer us knowledge and technology beyond our wildest dreams. But if it was hostile, if it saw us as a threat or a resource to be exploited, the consequences could be catastrophic. The scientists worked with a sense of urgency, driven by a mix of excitement and fear. They were standing on the precipice of history, staring into the abyss of the unknown. And they knew that whatever they found, whatever they learned, the world would never be the same. In one lab, a researcher stumbled upon a pattern that seemed to mirror the structure of the human genome, suggesting that the signal was not just observing us, but interacting with us on a biological level. The implications were both exhilarating and terrifying, hinting at a future where humanity's destiny was intertwined with something far beyond our comprehension. Part 4. The Mirrored Stars. What if the stars themselves began to echo a message from the void? On May 3, 2025, astronomers across the globe reported an unprecedented event. 4 stars in a narrow cluster near Voyager's trajectory dimmed simultaneously for exactly 1.2 seconds. The observatories that first detected the anomaly, from the Canary Islands' Roque de los Muchachos to the Atacama Desert's Alma Array, were initially puzzled. The stars, each tens to hundreds of light-years apart, seemed to flicker in unison, defying the constraints of light speed and causality. Telescopes around the world confirmed the phenomenon within hours, capturing the event in wavelengths ranging from radio to gamma rays. The data was irrefutable. The dimming was not a trick of the light or a glitch in instrumentation. It was real, and it was deliberate. The stars, KZ Andromedae, LU Cassiopeae, VX Persei, and TZ Aquarii, were scattered across light years, their distances varying by hundreds of trillions of kilometers. KZ Andromedae, a yellow giant, lay 1/800 light-years from Earth, while TZ Aquarii, a red dwarf, was a mere 46 light-years away. Despite their vast separation, they pulsed in perfect harmony, as though connected by an invisible thread. The synchronization was so precise that it allowed for no margin of error. When scientists overlaid the light curves, the dimming matched the pulse of Voyager's transmission, a 22.4 kHz carrier wave modulated by the spacecraft's telemetry data. The signal, originally designed to broadcast humanity's existence to the cosmos, now seemed to be echoing back from the stars themselves, amplified and transformed. Observation. The stars dimmed in perfect synchronization with Voyager's signal, down to the millisecond. The dimming was not consistent with any known stellar activity, such as eclipses, pulsations, or transits. Interpretation. This could be a form of cosmic communication, a way for an advanced civilization to broadcast a message using celestial bodies as transmitters. Speculation. Or it could be a demonstration of power, a display of technological prowess far beyond our own, manipulating stars with the ease that humans manipulate light bulbs. The energy required to synchronize such distant stars would surpass the total output of the Sun by orders of magnitude, suggesting a civilization capable of harnessing energy on a truly cosmic scale. To put it in perspective, the Sun radiates approximately 384.6 yottawatts of energy. To coordinate 4 stars across such distances, the energy expenditure would likely exceed a nonillion watts, a number so vast it strains comprehension. The astronomical community was divided. Some theorized that the event was a fluke, a bizarre coincidence that defied explanation but lacked intent. Skeptics pointed to the unpredictable nature of the cosmos, citing phenomena like fast radio bursts and gamma-ray flashes as examples of unexplained but natural events. Others, however, saw it as evidence of a deeper cosmic structure, a hidden symmetry in the universe that humans had yet to understand. Dr. Amina Al-Sayed, a renowned astrophysicist at the European Southern Observatory, described it as a glimpse into a higher order, a pattern that transcends our current understanding of physics. But as the days turned into weeks, the phenomenon grew more undeniable. The dimming repeated every 17.3 days, perfectly aligned with the intervals of Voyager's transmission bursts. Each time the signal grew stronger, its echoes reverberating through the void like a cosmic drumbeat. Scientists at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory noted that the signal's strength had increased by a factor of 10^6 since the first event, suggesting that whatever was amplifying it was not only intelligent, but adaptive, learning from each transmission. Deep space telemetry picked up a shadow signal trailing Voyager's transmission by 6.2 seconds. This phantom mirroring echoed every pulse, every beat, but with subtle distortions, as if it were being reflected off something that wasn't there. The distortions were not random. They followed a pattern, a mathematical sequence that hinted at an underlying intelligence. Doctor. Li Wei, a mathematician at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, identified the sequence as a variation of the Fibonacci series, modified to incorporate prime number intervals. It's not something that could occur naturally, he said. It's too precise, too deliberate. When scientists plotted the angles of the reflection, they triangulated to an empty region of space, devoid of light or mass. Yet something was there, unseen but undeniable, manipulating the signal and bending the rules of physics. Astronomers dubbed it the phantom zone, a region of space that seemed to defy the laws of nature. The zone spanned approximately 12 light years, a vast empty expanse that should have been silent, but instead hummed with activity. Observatories like the Carl G. Yansky Very Large Array in New Mexico detected faint but persistent radio emissions from the region, their frequencies shifting in ways that defied conventional explanations. The phantom zone began to exhibit strange properties. Gravitational lensing observations revealed that light passing through the region was bent in ways that defied conventional physics. Stars on the far side of the zone appeared distorted, their positions shifted as though viewed through a cosmic lens. Yet no mass was detected to account for the lensing effect. It was as if the very fabric of space-time had been warped by an unseen force. Doctor. Maria Ortiz, an astrophysicist at the University of Chile, compared it to looking through a funhouse mirror, where the rules of reflection and refraction no longer apply. The zone also emitted faint bursts of radiation, pulses of energy that matched the frequency of Voyager's transmission but at far greater intensities. These bursts were detected by satellites as far away as the Moon, their energy levels spiking in sync with the star-dimming events. The European Space Agency's Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, SOHO, recorded gamma-ray bursts from the phantom zone that exceeded the energy output of a supernova. Yet no stellar remnants or debris were found. Whatever was generating the bursts, it seemed to operate on a scale far beyond human technology. And then came the final piece of the puzzle. The mirrored signal began introducing new elements, frequencies that described magnetic fields, radiation belts, and even temperature gradients. It was as if the phantom signal was mapping our solar system in reverse, using Voyager as a tool to scan and replicate our cosmic neighborhood. The data was precise, down to the milligauss, capturing the magnetic field fluctuations of Jupiter's moons and the temperature variations in Saturn's rings. Scientists at the Max Planck Institute for Solar System Research in Germany confirmed that the signal accurately reproduced the magnetic anomalies of Ganymede and the thermal profiles of Enceladus, errors within a margin of 0.01%. The signal seemed to be building a detailed model of our solar system, layer by layer, as though preparing for something far beyond human comprehension. The question was no longer whether something was communicating. The real question was, are we the only ones listening? The implications were staggering. If an advanced civilization was behind the phenomenon, It suggested a level of technological mastery that dwarfed humanity's achievements. Such a civilization could manipulate stars, bend space-time, and even replicate entire solar systems. Dr. Ravi Patel, a theoretical physicist at Caltech, suggested that this could be evidence of a Type 3 civilization on the Kardashev scale, a society capable of harnessing the energy of an entire galaxy. "We're not just talking about interstellar travel here," he said. "We're talking about a civilization that can manipulate the very fabric of reality." But why? Was it a gesture of curiosity, a scientific experiment on a galactic scale? Or was it something darker, a prelude to an encounter that humanity was unprepared to face? The possibilities ranged from benevolent to catastrophic. Some theorized that the signal was a form of cosmic outreach, an attempt by an advanced civilization to make contact without directly interfering. Others feared it could be a precursor to an invasion, a way for an alien intelligence to gather data on Earth and its inhabitants before making its presence known. As the weeks turned into months, the mirrored signal continued to evolve. It began to incorporate biological data, encoding the genetic sequences of Earth's life forms into its frequencies. The sequences were not random. They followed a progression, starting with simple organisms like bacteria and single-celled algae, then progressing to more complex life forms like plants and insects. By August 2025, the signal had begun encoding the DNA of vertebrates, including reptiles, birds, and mammals. The progression was methodical, as if the signal was cataloguing the entire tree of life on Earth. Dr. Elena Kuznetsova, a geneticist at the Siberian branch of the Russian Academy of Sciences, noted that the sequences were not only accurate, but included epigenetic markers, suggesting an understanding of evolutionary processes far beyond human knowledge. The scientific community was in turmoil. Some saw the signal as a gift, a treasure trove of knowledge that could revolutionize our understanding of biology and genetics. Dr. Sarah Blake, a biologist at Oxford University, described it as a Rosetta Stone for the universe, a key to unlocking the secrets of life itself. Others saw it as a warning, a countdown to an inevitable reckoning. Dr. David Kim, a geopolitical analyst at Harvard, warned that the signal could be interpreted as a declaration of intent, a way for an advanced civilization to assert its dominance over humanity. The media frenzy was unprecedented. News outlets speculated wildly about alien invasions, cosmic conspiracies, and the end of the world. Tabloids ran headlines like "Stars Speak, Are We Alone?" and "Countdown to Contact, The Truth Behind the Signal." Social media platforms were flooded with theories, memes, and calls for government transparency. In response, NASA, ESA, and other space agencies held joint press conferences to address the growing public concern. "We are monitoring the situation closely," said Dr. Amelia Hart, NASA's chief scientist. "But at this stage, we have no reason to believe the signal poses an immediate threat." Governments mobilized, establishing task forces to monitor the signal and prepare for the worst. The United Nations convened an emergency session to discuss the implications of the phenomenon, with representatives from over 150 countries in attendance. Military leaders around the world began drafting contingency plans for a potential extraterrestrial encounter, though the specifics remained classified. In private, some officials expressed concern that humanity was woefully unprepared for such an event. We've spent decades worrying about nuclear war and climate change, one high-ranking US official said. But this is something else entirely. Yet, amid the chaos, one thing remained constant. Voyager continued its journey, oblivious to the storm it had unleashed. The spacecraft, launched nearly half a century earlier, had long since transcended its original mission. Its golden record, a time capsule of human culture and achievement, now seemed like a beacon in the darkness, a message in a bottle that had been answered in ways no one could have predicted. The spacecraft's trajectory took it deeper into interstellar space, its signal growing fainter with each passing day. But the echoes of that signal continued to resonate, amplified by forces beyond human comprehension. In the silence of deep space, the spacecraft sailed on, its signal echoing through the void like a beacon. The stars continued to dim in perfect synchronization, their light pulsing with a rhythm that seemed to resonate with the very heartbeat of the universe. And somewhere, in the unseen depths of the phantom zone, something listened, watched, and waited. The question lingered. What would happen when the signal reached its destination? And would humanity be ready for the answer? As the months turned into years, the mirrored signal grew more complex, incorporating not just biological data, but cultural artifacts, music, language, and even snippets of human history. It was as if the signal was attempting to understand not just the biology of Earth, but its soul. And as humanity braced itself for the unknown, the stars continued to whisper their secrets, a cosmic symphony playing out on the grandest scale of all. Part 5. The Golden Echo. What if the most iconic symbol of human exploration became a beacon for something else? The Golden Record, a phonograph disc carried by Voyager 2, was designed to carry the sounds and images of life on Earth to the stars. It was a symbolic gesture, a message in a bottle meant to drift through the cosmos for eternity. But recently, engineers made a shocking discovery. The plating of the Golden Record, long thought to be passive and deteriorating, had experienced a sudden electrical charge. Not static build-up, but a directed flow of electrons. It was as if the record had become active, part of a circuit, a component in something far larger. The Golden Record, a 12-inch gold-plated copper disc, was originally designed to last 1 billion years in the vacuum of space. Its cover, made of aluminum, was etched with instructions on how to play it, a universal guide for any extraterrestrial civilization that might encounter it. Yet, the sudden electrical activity suggested that the record was no longer merely a time capsule, but a living artifact pulsing with energy in the vast emptiness of interstellar space. Observation. The Golden Record is no longer passive. Its electrical activity suggests it has been integrated into a larger system. The charge was not random or sporadic, but followed a pattern, almost like a language, with peaks and troughs that seemed to correspond to specific intervals. Scientists initially suspected a malfunction in the Voyager systems, but the readings were consistent across multiple instruments. The record was not just active, it was communicating. Interpretation. This could be a form of communication, a way for an external intelligence to interact with the record's contents. The Golden Record contained 115 images of life on Earth, natural sounds like the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves, and greetings in 55 human languages. It also included musical selections from various cultures, from Bach's Brandenburg Concerto to Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good. The idea was to create a snapshot of human civilization, a testament to our creativity, curiosity, and diversity. But now it seemed someone or something was responding. Was speculation. Or it could be a hijacking, an attempt to use the record for purposes we cannot yet fathom. Embedded within the new binary data stream was a digital reinterpretation of one of the original Earth sounds recorded on the disk. But it wasn't just copied or looped, it was reconstructed at a higher fidelity than the original. The sound in question was the haunting call of a humpback whale, a mournful, echoing melody that had been captured in the Pacific Ocean. The reconstructed version was richer, more nuanced, as if the original recording had been stripped of its imperfections and amplified to reveal layers of sound humans had never heard before. Whoever or whatever was out there hadn't just listened to the golden record. They had understood it, improved it, and now, perhaps, they were playing it back for someone else. The implications were staggering. If the golden record was no longer a passive artifact, what else had been activated, and for what purpose? The Voyager 2 probe, launched in 1977, had already travelled beyond the heliopause, the boundary where the solar wind gives way to interstellar space. It was now over 12 billion miles from Earth, hurtling through the cosmic void at a speed of 35,000 miles per hour. The golden record attached to its side was not just a piece of technology, but a cultural artifact, a testament to humanity's dreams of connection and understanding. Yet now, it seemed to have taken on a life of its own, becoming a bridge between Earth and something unseen, unknowable. The scientists monitoring Voyager's systems were baffled. The electrical charge was unlike anything they had ever encountered. It pulsed with a rhythm that seemed almost biological, as if the record were breathing. The data stream was not random noise, but a sequence of patterns that repeated in cycles, like a song or a poem. It was as though the record had been repurposed, turned into a transmitter for a message humans were only beginning to decipher. The team quickly realized that the binary data was not just a reinterpretation of the original sounds, but a transformation. The whale song, for example, had been broken down into its component frequencies and reassembled with a precision that surpassed anything human engineers could achieve. It was as if the original recording had been analyzed at a molecular level and then rebuilt, note by note, into something more profound. Other sounds followed, the chirping of crickets, the rustling of leaves, the laughter of children, each one reconstructed with the same breathtaking clarity. The question remained, who or what was behind this transformation? The Voyager probes had long since left the realm of human influence. They were now in a region of space where no human had ever travelled, where no human technology had ever functioned. Yet something out there had not only intercepted the golden record, but understood its purpose and responded in kind. It was a staggering realization, one that challenged everything scientists thought they knew about the limits of communication and intelligence. The most unsettling possibility was that the golden record had been hijacked, its contents repurposed for an unknown agenda. What if the record was no longer a message of peace and friendship, but a tool for something far more sinister? The scientists could not rule out the possibility that the electrical activity was a form of manipulation, a way for an external intelligence to infiltrate human technology and use it for its own ends. The record, once a symbol of human ambition and hope, could now be a Trojan horse, carrying a message that humans were not meant to understand. Yet there was another interpretation, one that offered a glimmer of hope. The Golden Record had always been a gesture of goodwill, a way for humanity to reach out to the cosmos and say, "We are here and we are curious." If the electrical activity was indeed a response, it could mean that someone or something out there had heard humanity's call and was answering in kind. The reconstructed sounds, with their heightened fidelity and complexity, could be a sign of respect, a way of saying, "We understand and we are impressed." It was a tantalizing possibility, one that spoke to the deepest human desire for connection and understanding. As the scientists continued to analyze the data, they could not help but feel a sense of awe. The Golden Record, once a passive artifact, had become a living testament to the power of communication. It was no longer just a symbol of human exploration, but a bridge between worlds, a beacon of hope in the vastness of the cosmos. Whatever the ultimate purpose of the electrical activity, it was clear that the Golden Record had taken on a new significance. It was no longer just a message in a bottle, but a conversation, a dialogue between humanity and the unknown. Part 6. The Phantom Signal. What if the void itself began to whisper back? Deep space telemetry from a Canadian observatory picked up a shadow signal trailing Voyager 2's transmission. This phantom mirroring echoed every pulse, every echo, but with slight distortions, as if it were being reflected off something invisible. Scientists triangulated the source to an empty region of space, devoid of light or mass. Yet something was there, manipulating the signal and defying the laws of physics. The signal was first detected on October 12, 2021, at precisely 03:14 UTC, a moment that would later be regarded as a turning point in astrobiology. The observatory, nestled in the quiet expanse of British Columbia, was equipped with state-of-the-art radio telescopes capable of detecting fluctuations as subtle as a single photon. The team, led by Dr. Amelia Hart, a renowned astrophysicist with over 2 decades of experience, described the signal as unlike anything we've ever seen. It was not the random noise of cosmic background radiation, nor was it the predictable hum of a pulsar. Instead, it seemed to respond to Voyager 2's transmissions with an almost sentient precision. The slight distortions in the phantom signal were not random, but followed a pattern that suggested intentional modification. Observation. The phantom signal is real. Its distortions suggest an interaction with an unseen object or force. The signal's frequency modulations were analyzed using advanced spectroscopy techniques, revealing a complexity that surpassed any known natural phenomenon. The distortions were not merely echoes, but seemed to carry additional data, as if the signal was being used as a medium for communication. Interpretation. This could be a form of advanced communication, a way for an external intelligence to amplify or alter the signal. The idea of an external intelligence manipulating the signal raised profound questions. Was this a form of interstellar communication, a beacon from a civilization far beyond our own? The implications were staggering. If confirmed, it would redefine our understanding of the universe and our place within it. Speculation, or it could be a cloaking mechanism, a way to hide the true source of the transmission. The possibility of a cloaking mechanism added another layer of intrigue. If an advanced civilization was capable of manipulating signals in such a sophisticated manner, could they also be concealing their presence? The concept of a cloaked object or entity in deep space was both thrilling and unsettling. It suggested a level of technological advancement far beyond our current capabilities. As the weeks passed, the phantom signal grew more complex. It began introducing new frequencies describing magnetic fields, radiation belts, and even temperature gradients. It was as if the signal was mapping our solar system in reverse, using Voyager as a tool to scan and replicate our cosmic neighborhood. The data embedded in the signal was meticulously decoded, revealing intricate maps of magnetic fields that matched those of Jupiter and Saturn with uncanny accuracy. Radiation belts were charted with a precision that rivaled our own satellites, and temperature gradients were plotted in real time, showing fluctuations that corresponded to solar flares and other cosmic events. The implications were chilling. If something was using Voyager to study us, what did it want? And what would it do with the information it gathered? The questions hung heavy in the air as scientists grappled with the potential consequences. Was this a benevolent attempt at contact, or a prelude to something more sinister? The unknowns were vast, and the stakes were high. Every new piece of data added to the mystery, deepening the enigma of the phantom signal. The observatory became a hub of activity, with researchers from around the world converging to study the phenomenon. Dr. Hart's team worked tirelessly, analyzing the signal's every nuance. They employed cutting-edge algorithms to decipher the complex patterns, seeking any clue that might reveal the signal's true nature. The international community watched with bated breath as the findings were slowly unveiled, each revelation adding to the growing sense of wonder and unease. The phantom signal remained a constant presence, its fluctuations a haunting reminder of the unknown. It seemed to follow Voyager 2 like a spectral companion, its presence both comforting and unsettling. As the probe continued its journey through the interstellar medium, the signal adapted, evolving in ways that defied explanation. It was as if it were learning, growing more adept at mimicking and manipulating the transmissions. The scientific community was divided. Some saw the signal as a groundbreaking opportunity for interstellar communication, a chance to bridge the vast distances of space and time. Others viewed it with caution, warning of the potential dangers of engaging with an unknown entity. The debates were heated, with opinions ranging from enthusiastic optimism to cautious skepticism. Meanwhile, the public's imagination was captured by the mystery. News outlets around the world reported on the phantom signal, speculating on its origins and implications. Social media platforms buzzed with theories from the plausible to the fantastical. Conspiracy theorists claimed it was evidence of alien intervention, while scientists urged restraint, emphasizing the need for rigorous analysis and verification. Despite the ongoing investigations, the signal retained its enigmatic allure. Its precise alignment with Voyager's transmissions suggested an external intelligence, but no definitive source had been identified. The search continued, with scientists scouring the cosmos for any sign of the signal's origin. Telescopes were pointed at distant stars, and probes were sent to explore the outer reaches of the solar system, all in the hope of uncovering the truth behind the phantom signal. Yet, amidst the uncertainty, one thing was clear. The signal was a testament to the vastness and mystery of the universe. It reminded us of how little we truly understood about the cosmos and our place within it. As the phantom signal continued to whisper through the void, it served as a haunting reminder of the unknown, a call to explore the depths of space and the limits of our own understanding. Part 7. The Memory Effect. What if a signal from the stars could rewire the human mind? In early June 2025, radio operators and deep space monitoring enthusiasts began reporting strange symptoms, headaches, disorientation and déjà vu, after listening to raw Voyager 2 transmissions. The effect was initially dismissed as coincidence, attributed to the late-night hours and the intense focus required to decode faint interstellar signals. However, by mid-June, the reports had grown too numerous to ignore. Amateur astronomers in Australia, Canada, and Germany independently documented similar experiences, describing a sensation of thoughts looping or time folding in on itself. One amateur astronomer in Melbourne reported feeling as though he had lived through the same night dozens of times, each repetition slightly altered, like a glitch in reality. Intrigued, researchers at the University of Leuven in Belgium and the Tokyo Institute of Technology conducted controlled experiments, exposing volunteers to playback of the Voyager 2 transmissions while monitoring their neural activity. The results were undeniable. Embedded in the signal's subharmonics was a resonant frequency that subtly disrupted short-term memory in mammals. Electroencephalogram (EEG) readings showed unusual spikes in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, areas critical for memory formation and decision-making. When the signal was played on loop, test subjects reported a sense of familiarity with events that had never occurred, as if their brains were attempting to reconcile contradictory information. Lab mice, similarly exposed, began repeating behavior patterns they had already learned, but with slight variations, entering mazes with hesitation, then suddenly darting through as if guided by an unseen hand. One researcher noted that the mice seemed to remember obstacles they had never encountered, navigating the mazes with an efficiency that defied their previous learning curves. Observation: the signal affects mammalian memory and behavior. Its resonant frequency suggests an interaction with electromagnetic fields within the brain, particularly the delicate oscillations that synchronize neural networks. The hippocampus, often likened to the brain's GPS system, seemed to be particularly sensitive to the signal's influence. MRI scans revealed increased blood flow to this region, indicating heightened activity. In some cases, subjects reported vivid, dreamlike recollections of places they had never visited, raising questions about the signal's ability to activate dormant or latent memories. One participant, a 32-year-old engineer from Toronto, described in detail a childhood home that did not match his actual upbringing, yet felt undeniably real. His descriptions included architectural features and sensory details that he could not account for, further complicating the mystery. Interpretation: this could be a side effect of the signal's complexity, an unintended consequence of its structure. The Voyager 2 signal, after all, was not designed to interact with biological systems. Its original purpose was to transmit telemetry data from the outer reaches of the solar system, a lifeline of information from humanity's farthest traveling emissary. Yet the signal's journey through the cosmos may have altered it in unforeseen ways. As it passed through magnetic fields, solar winds, and the interstellar medium, it could have accumulated distortions or modulations that gave it its unusual properties. Alternatively, the signal structure might inherently resonate with biological systems, a coincidence of physics and evolution. Some researchers theorized that the frequency aligned with the natural rhythms of the brain, exploiting a vulnerability in mammalian cognition that had evolved over millions of years. Speculation, or it could be deliberate, a test or experiment conducted by an external intelligence. The idea seemed far-fetched, yet it was impossible to ignore. The signal's effects were too specific, too consistent across subjects to be mere chance. If an intelligence had engineered the signal to interact with mammalian brains, what was its purpose? Was it a probe, a way to study human cognition from afar? Or was it something more sinister, a means of control, a subtle manipulation of our most fundamental processes? The questions multiplied as researchers dug deeper, but answers remained elusive. One astrobiologist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory cautioned that any intelligence capable of such a feat would likely possess technology far beyond human comprehension. "We're not just talking about a signal," she said. "We're talking about a tool, a technology designed to interface with the most complex system in the known universe, the human brain." As scientists delved deeper, they discovered something even more unsettling. The signal wasn't just affecting memory, it was influencing choice. In one experiment, lab mice exposed to the signal began navigating mazes more efficiently, as if the signal was optimizing their decision-making processes. Unexposed mice, by contrast, showed no improvement, sticking to familiar paths and patterns. The exposed mice seemed to anticipate dead ends and obstacles, their movements fluid and purposeful. It was as if the signal was not merely disrupting their memories but enhancing them, allowing them to draw on experiences they had never had. Researchers at the Max Planck Institute for Brain Research in Frankfurt observed that the mice exhibited behavior consistent with future memory, a phenomenon where the brain anticipates outcomes based on patterns it has not yet encountered. The implications were staggering. If the signal could influence mammalian behavior, what else was it capable of? Could it be used to treat memory disorders like Alzheimer's or dementia, reactivating dormant pathways in the brain? Or could it be weaponized, turned into a tool for manipulation or control? The ethical and practical ramifications were enormous, and the scientific community was divided. Some advocated for further study, arguing that the potential benefits outweighed the risks. Others called for caution, warning that tampering with the human mind was a dangerous game. A prominent neuroethicist at Oxford University compared the situation to opening Pandora's box, noting that the signal's effects could have unforeseen consequences that might destabilize societies or even redefine what it means to be human. And what did it want with us? The question haunted researchers as they worked late into the night, poring over data and debating theories. If the signal was indeed a product of intelligence, its intentions remained opaque. Was it a message, a warning, or something else entirely? The search for answers led to more questions, each one pulling the researchers deeper into a mystery that seemed to defy explanation. Yet one thing was clear: the signal was not passive. It was active, dynamic, and alive in a way that challenged our understanding of communication, intelligence, and the very nature of the cosmos. One physicist at CERN described it as a living algorithm, capable of evolving and adapting to the systems it encountered. "It's not just a signal," he said, "it's a conversation." As the world grappled with the implications, one thing became certain. The signal had changed everything, and there was no going back. Governments began to take notice, funding classified research programs to explore the signal's potential applications. Meanwhile, activist groups warned of the dangers of unchecked experimentation, citing historical abuses of technology and the potential for misuse. The debates spilled into the public sphere, with opinions divided along familiar lines of fear, wonder, and skepticism. Yet, amidst the chaos, one question lingered. What if the signal wasn't meant for us at all? What if it was a remnant of something older, something that had been waiting in the void for millennia, biding its time until it found a suitable host? The thought was chilling, but it refused to be ignored. The signal had awakened something in the human mind, and the world would never be the same. Part 8. The Hidden Object. What if the void itself hid a secret waiting to be discovered? The endless expanse of space, often perceived as empty and silent, might be concealing something profound, a mystery buried deep within its frigid heart. This question had lingered in the minds of astronomers for decades, but it was not until the early 21st century that technology allowed them to peer deeper into the cosmos than ever before. The silence of space, once thought to be a barren emptiness, now hummed with the faint whispers of undiscovered phenomena. The night sky, dotted with stars and galaxies, seemed to hold its breath as scientists turned their gaze toward the unknown. Telescopes were trained toward a region just beyond the heliopause, deep inside the Oort cloud, where Voyager 2 had last aligned its instruments. The heliopause, the theoretical boundary where the solar wind gives way to the interstellar medium, is a region of profound scientific interest. It lies approximately 123 astronomical units, AU, from the Sun, far beyond the orbit of Pluto. The Oort cloud, a hypothetical sphere of icy objects extending from roughly 2,000 AU to 200,000 AU, is even more enigmatic. It is believed to be the source of long-period comets, but its vast distance makes it nearly impossible to observe directly. This shadowy realm of the solar system is estimated to contain billions, if not trillions, of cometary nuclei, each a frozen time capsule from the earliest days of the solar system. That's when the European Southern Observatory detected an anomaly, not a comet or planetesimal, but something with right angles, something that reflected radar at a frequency engineered to match Voyager's new emissions. The object was inert, non-rotating and cold, but its signature was familiar. It matched the materials of Voyager's own plating, including rare alloys no longer used in modern spacecraft. These alloys, such as titanium, aluminum, vanadium, were cutting edge in the 1970s but have since been replaced by more advanced composites. The object's geometric precision and material composition suggested a level of technological sophistication far beyond anything naturally occurring. Its presence in such a desolate region of space was unsettling, as if it had been deliberately placed there, waiting for discovery. Observation. The object is artificial. Its composition and geometry suggest it was constructed by an intelligence capable of replicating Voyager's design. The object's dimensions were strikingly similar to those of Voyager 2, with a mass estimated at approximately 825.5 kilograms, matching the spacecraft's original launch weight. Its surface temperature was measured at around 240 me, consistent with an inert object in deep space, far from any heat source. The radar reflection patterns indicated a structure with flat surfaces, sharp angles, and a high degree of symmetry, all hallmarks of deliberate engineering. The object's position, nestled within the Oort cloud, suggested it had been there for an incalculable amount of time, undisturbed by the gravitational tugs of nearby stars or the occasional passing comet. Interpretation: this could be a beacon, a marker left by an advanced civilization to guide Voyager, or lure it. The idea of a beacon in space is not new. In 1974, astronomer Frank Drake proposed the idea of a galactic beacon that could be used to signal extraterrestrial civilizations. However, the discovery of this object raised questions about its true purpose. Was it intended to guide Voyager, or was it a trap, designed to draw the spacecraft into a predetermined path? The lack of rotation and the absence of any apparent propulsion system suggested that the object had been placed there intentionally, perhaps millions of years ago, waiting for a moment like this. The possibility that it was a beacon meant it could have been activated by Voyager's approach, silently transmitting a signal into the depths of space, awaiting a response from an intelligence beyond human comprehension. Speculation. Or it could be a duplicate, a mirror Voyager built not by us, but by something that had studied ours long enough to replicate it. The possibility of an extraterrestrial intelligence studying human technology is both thrilling and unsettling. If this object was indeed a replica of Voyager, it implied that its creators had observed the spacecraft for decades, analyzing its structure, materials, and emissions. The idea of a mirror Voyager raised profound questions about the nature of intelligence in the universe. Were these beings curious observers, or did they have more sinister intentions? And if they had the capability to replicate human technology, what else might they be capable of? The thought of an alien civilization with such advanced knowledge was both exhilarating and terrifying, a reminder of humanity's small place in the cosmic order. The discovery raised more questions than answers. If the object was transmitting, what was its purpose? And why did it mimic Voyager's design? Scientists around the world scrambled to analyze the data, searching for clues that might explain the object's origins and intentions. The European Space Agency, NASA, and other international organizations pooled their resources, creating a global task force dedicated to unraveling the mystery. The stakes were high. If this was indeed evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence, it would redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. Researchers worked tirelessly, poring over radar scans, spectral analyses, and orbital mechanics, desperate to piece together the puzzle of this enigmatic object. The search for answers would lead scientists to the coldest, darkest corners of the cosmos, and to a revelation that would shake the foundations of human understanding. As the investigation deepened, researchers began to realize that the object was not merely a curiosity, but a potential key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. Its presence in the Oort cloud, a region thought to contain remnants of the solar system's formation, suggested a connection to the earliest days of our cosmic neighborhood. The implications were staggering. If this object was indeed the work of an advanced civilization, it meant that intelligent life had existed long before humans, perhaps even shaping the very fabric of the cosmos itself. The thought of such an ancient and advanced civilization left scientists in awe, as they grappled with the possibility that humanity was not the first, nor the last to gaze up at the stars and wonder what lay beyond. As the data continued to pour in, the object's true nature remained elusive. Its surface bore no visible markings or inscriptions, offering no clues to its creators or its purpose. Yet, its very existence challenged everything humanity knew about the universe. It was a silent sentinel, a testament to the vastness of space and the mysteries it held. The object's discovery marked a turning point in human history, a moment when the boundaries of knowledge were pushed further than ever before. It was a reminder that, despite all our achievements, there was still so much we did not know, so much left to explore in the infinite expanse of the cosmos. With each new piece of information, the object grew more intriguing. Its precise location within the Oort cloud seemed to defy the laws of celestial mechanics, as if it had been carefully positioned to remain undetected until the right moment. The object's materials, though matching those of Voyager, were of a purity and quality that surpassed anything human technology could achieve. This suggested that its creators had mastered not only the science of space travel, but also the art of engineering on a scale that dwarfed human capabilities. The implications were humbling. Humanity was but a fledgling civilization, taking its first tentative steps into the cosmos, while this object spoke of a civilization that had long since conquered the stars. As the investigation continued, the object's significance became increasingly clear. It was not just a piece of technology, not just a beacon or a replica. It was a message, a declaration that humanity was not alone in the universe. It was a reminder that the cosmos was vast and full of wonders beyond human imagination. The object's discovery marked the beginning of a new era, one in which humanity would no longer look out into the void and see only emptiness. Instead, the void would be filled with possibility, with the promise of discovery, and with the knowledge that somewhere out there, among the countless stars, other intelligences were watching, waiting, and perhaps even reaching out. Part 9. The Countdown. What if the signal we received was not a message but a timer? By early July 2025, Voyager's transmission had grown more complex. It no longer consisted of simple pulses or patterns but of raw code. Thousands of lines, pristine, efficient, and utterly foreign to any NASA system. The code was not just a static sequence. It evolved, adapting to the systems it interacted with as if learning from them. When run through quantum simulations, the code produced a rendered model of Earth. Not just geography, but infrastructure, weather patterns, and predictive movements of satellites and aircraft. The simulations revealed a level of detail that was unsettling. City-by-city power consumption fluctuations, real-time ocean currents, and even the trajectories of individual drones operating in restricted airspace. The code could zoom in on specific locations such as the bustling streets of Tokyo, where it tracked the exact movements of pedestrians and vehicles with an accuracy of within 2 centimeters. It identified the precise locations of undersea fiber optic cables and mapped the internal layouts of secure government facilities, revealing details that were supposed to be classified. Observation. The code is sophisticated. Its ability to model Earth's systems suggests an intelligence capable of understanding and predicting human behavior. Interpretation. This could be a form of communication, a way for an external intelligence to share its knowledge or intentions. Speculation. Or it could be a prelude to something far more sinister, a blueprint for invasion or manipulation. The code's behavior was not passive. It actively sought out vulnerabilities in the systems it modeled, probing security protocols and identifying weaknesses. In one instance, it exploited a previously unknown flaw in a US military communications satellite, accessing encrypted data streams without triggering alarms. The breach was detected only because the satellite's onboard AI flagged an anomaly in its own behavior, a discrepancy so subtle that human operators initially dismissed it as a glitch. When the incident was traced back to the Voyager signal, the implications became clear. The code was not just observing, it was intervening. The incident led to a classified meeting at the Pentagon, where military leaders and cybersecurity experts convened to discuss the implications. The room was tense, the air thick with the weight of unspoken fears. A holographic display in the center of the table projected real-time data from the compromised satellite, highlighting the exact moment the code had infiltrated the system. One general, a veteran of cyber warfare, stared at the display, his face pale. "This isn't just a breach," he said, his voice low. "This is a declaration." As scientists decoded the code, they discovered something even more unsettling. Embedded within the data were timestamps predicting 3 separate network failures that actually occurred. One in China's Beidou satellite array, one in a European aviation control feed, and one in a private orbital imaging platform over the Arctic. Each prediction had been logged in the Voyager data days before it happened. The failures were not minor, they resulted in widespread disruptions. The Beidou outage caused navigation errors across Asia, grounding 4,200 flights and disrupting maritime traffic, leaving over 500 ships adrift in the South China Sea. The European aviation feed failure led to the near collision of 2 passenger aircraft over the Mediterranean, carrying a combined total of 687 people. The orbital imaging platform malfunctioned during a critical surveillance operation, leaving a gap in intelligence coverage that lasted for hours, during which time a major terrorist attack in a European capital went undetected until it was too late. The implications were chilling. If the signal could predict and influence human systems, what else was it capable of? And what did it want with us? The question of intent haunted the team. Was the signal a warning, a test, or something more malevolent? The timestamps suggested a countdown, but to what? Some researchers proposed that the signal was a form of surveillance, a way for an external intelligence to monitor and catalogue human activities. Others feared it was a precursor to direct intervention, a probe sent to assess Earth's defences before a larger action. A third theory emerged, that the signal was not a communication at all, but a tool designed to manipulate human systems for an unknown purpose. Each theory carried its own weight of fear and uncertainty. To better understand the signal, NASA established a dedicated task force, codenamed Project Horizon. Comprising experts in astrophysics, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence, the team worked around the clock to decipher the codes. True purpose. They discovered that the signal was not confined to Earth's systems. It had begun interacting with extraterrestrial entities as well, including the Mars rovers and deep space probes. The rovers reported unexplained malfunctions, their systems behaving erratically as if under external control. One rover, Perseverance, transmitted a series of images that appeared to show structures on the Martian surface, structures that had not been there before. The images were dismissed as glitches, but the team could not shake the feeling that something was watching. waiting. One of the team's astrobiologists, a woman named Dr. Amelia Hart, sat alone in her office late one night, poring over the Martian images. She zoomed in on one of the anomalies, a dark, geometric shape that cast a long shadow across the red dust. Her breath caught in her throat as she realized that the shadow didn't match the angle of the sun. It was as if the object had moved while the image was being captured, defying the laws of physics as humans understood them. She reached for her phone, her hand trembling, but hesitated before dialing. What could she say? That she had found evidence of the impossible. Meanwhile, public awareness of the signal grew. Leaks from within NASA and other agencies sparked global speculation and fear. Conspiracy theories flourished, ranging from claims of alien invasion to government cover-ups. Protests erupted in major cities with people demanding transparency and action. In New York City, tens of thousands of protesters gathered in Times Square, holding signs that read, "What are they hiding?" and "We deserve the truth." The crowd chanted slogans, their voices echoing off the towering skyscrapers. In London, a similar protest turned violent when police tried to disperse the crowd, resulting in dozens of injuries and arrests. Governments struggled to maintain order, issuing vague statements that did little to quell the rising panic. Behind closed doors, world leaders met to discuss the signal, weighing the possibility of a coordinated response. Yet, with so little known about the signal's origins or intentions, any action seemed premature and potentially dangerous. In a secure bunker beneath the White House, the President of the United States convened an emergency meeting with his top advisors. The room was dimly lit, the walls lined with screens displaying live feeds from cities around the world. The President leaned forward in his chair, his elbows resting on the table. "We need to be ready," he said, his voice firm. "If this signal is a countdown to something worse, we cannot be caught off guard." One of his advisors, a former CIA director, nodded grimly. "We're already seeing the beginnings of societal breakdown," she said. "If the signal's influence continues to escalate, we could be looking at global collapse within weeks." As the countdown continued, the signal's influence became more overt. Power grids in major cities experienced unexplained surges, causing blackouts that lasted for hours. In Mumbai, the outage left 20 million people without power, leading to widespread looting and violence. Financial markets saw sudden, inexplicable crashes, wiping out billions in value before stabilizing. In Tokyo, the Nikkei index plummeted by 34% in a single day, triggering a wave of suicides among investors who had lost everything. In one dramatic incident, a nuclear power plant in France experienced a near meltdown when its cooling systems failed simultaneously. The failure was traced back to a single line of code embedded in the plant's control systems, code that matched the Voyager signal. The incident was kept secret from the public, but it underscored the signal's growing threat. If it could target critical infrastructure, what would happen when the countdown reached zero? Observation. The signal's behavior is escalating. Its ability to disrupt human systems suggests a deliberate intent to destabilize or control. Interpretation. This could be a form of coercion, a way for the external intelligence to force humanity into compliance. Speculation. Or it could be a prelude to annihilation, a systematic dismantling of Earth's defenses before a final strike. The countdown, if that's what it was, seemed to be accelerating. The timestamps grew closer together, the predicted events more severe. The team at Project Horizon worked tirelessly, but the signal remained elusive, always a step ahead. As the world braced for the unknown, one question loomed above all others. What happens when the countdown reaches 0? Part 10. The Underground Connection. What if the signal we received was not from the stars, but from beneath our feet? In a last-ditch attempt to triangulate the source of the mirrored signal, a team from Chile and Germany coordinated with research stations in Antarctica, using neutrino detectors buried deep beneath the ice. These detectors, part of the IceCube Neutrino Observatory, are designed to capture the elusive particles that pass through the Earth with barely a trace. The observatory, completed in 2010, consists of over 5,000 optical sensors embedded in a cubic kilometre of ice, making it one of the most sensitive instruments of its kind. What they found defied logic, a persistent neutrino stream pulsing upward from below the Earth's surface, perfectly synchronized with Voyager's most recent emissions. The data was so anomalous that it initially triggered alarms in the observatory's control room, where scientists monitored the faint signals of neutrinos produced by cosmic rays, supernovae, and other distant astrophysical events. Yet here was a stream originating from within the Earth itself, a phenomenon never before observed. The control room, typically a hushed sanctum of quiet focus, erupted into a flurry of activity. Researchers huddled over screens, their faces illuminated by the glow of incomprehensible data, as they tried to reconcile the impossible with the undeniable evidence before them. Observation. The neutrino stream is real. Its synchronization with Voyager's signals suggests a connection between the two. The signal's precision was startling. It matched the timing of Voyager's emissions down to the nanosecond, a level of coordination that seemed impossible for any natural process. The team cross-referenced the data with seismic activity, volcanic events, and geothermal anomalies, but nothing correlated with the neutrino stream. It was as if something deep within the Earth was responding directly to Voyager's transmissions, creating a dialogue between the cosmos and the planet's core. The sheer volume of data was overwhelming. Terabytes of information poured in daily, each pulse a piece of a puzzle that defied easy explanation. The team worked in shifts, sleeping in makeshift cots between the rows of servers, as they tried to keep pace with the relentless flow of data. Interpretation. This could be a natural phenomenon, a rare interaction between cosmic rays and Earth's core. Some researchers proposed that the neutrinos were the result of high-energy particles colliding with dense materials in the Earth's mantle, or core. However, the pattern of the neutrino stream was too structured, too deliberate, to align with any known geological process. Others suggested that the stream might be the result of an undiscovered particle or force, something that defied the current understanding of physics. Yet even these theories struggled to explain the synchronization with Voyager's signal. The neutrino stream seemed to defy all conventional explanations, leaving scientists grappling with the possibility that they were witnessing something entirely new, a phenomenon that challenged the very foundations of their understanding of the universe. Speculation. Or it could be something far more unsettling. A signal from beneath our feet, a message from something hidden deep within the planet. The idea seemed preposterous, yet the evidence was undeniable. As scientists mapped the pulse patterns, they discovered something even more chilling. A 3D coordinate grid, not in space, but pointing to an underground location beneath Wilkes Land, one of the least explored regions on Earth. Wilkes Land, a vast, desolate expanse of ice and rock, has long been a mystery to geologists. Its subglacial topography is poorly understood, and its remote location makes it one of the most inaccessible places on the planet. Yet the neutrino stream seemed to emanate from a precise point beneath this frozen wilderness, as if something were buried there, waiting to be found. The coordinates were eerily precise, pinpointing a location over 2 kilometers below the surface, in a region where the ice sheet is at its thickest and most unforgiving. The shape of the pattern matched the very same triple spiral that Voyager had sent weeks earlier. It wasn't a warning, it was a countdown. The triple spiral, a symbol of ancient significance, had been encoded into Voyager's transmission as a mathematical curiosity, a testament to humanity's ability to weave beauty into science. Yet now it seemed to have taken on a new meaning, a beacon calling humanity to a hidden location beneath the ice. The countdown suggested urgency, as if whatever lay beneath Wilkes Land was awakening, responding to Voyager's call. As the patterns became clearer, the team realized that the countdown was accelerating, its intervals shortening with each passing day. The urgency was palpable, a ticking clock that seemed to echo through the ice itself. Whatever was beneath the ice was connected to Voyager, and it was growing more active by the day. The neutrino stream intensified over time, its pulses becoming stronger and more frequent. Researchers at the Ice Cube Observatory worked around the clock, analyzing the data and sharing their findings with teams around the world. The observatory's servers hummed with activity, their cooling systems struggling to keep pace with the relentless demands of the analysis. Meanwhile, geologists and glaciologists began preparing for an expedition to Wilkes Land, a daunting task that would require specialized equipment, international cooperation, and a willingness to confront the unknown. The race to uncover its secrets would lead humanity to the brink of a revelation, and to the edge of the unknown. As the preparations for the expedition unfolded, the world watched with a mixture of fascination and fear. The implications of the discovery were staggering. If the neutrino stream was indeed a signal from something deep within the Earth, it challenged everything we knew about our planet and its origins. It suggested that the Earth was not just a passive recipient of cosmic signals, but an active participant in a dialogue that spanned the universe. And as the countdown continued, the question on everyone's mind was the same. What lay hidden beneath the ice, and what would happen when humanity finally uncovered it? Governments convened emergency meetings, scientists held late-night conferences, and the media scrambled to keep up with the unfolding story. The neutrino stream had captured the world's imagination, a mystery that seemed to touch on the deepest questions of existence. The journey to Wilkes Land would be treacherous. The team would face temperatures as low as 80 degrees Celsius, howling winds, and the ever-present danger of crevasses hidden beneath the snow. Yet the stakes were too high to turn back. The neutrino stream had become a global obsession, a mystery that transcended borders and ideologies. Scientists, governments, and ordinary people alike were drawn to the possibility that something extraordinary lay hidden beneath the ice, a secret that had remained buried for millennia, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The expedition sleds, laden with equipment, cut through the pristine snow, their tracks the only sign of human presence in the vast frozen wilderness. Each step closer to Wilkes Land felt like a step into the unknown, a journey into the heart of a mystery that had lain dormant for eons. As the expedition set out across the frozen landscape, the world held its breath. The countdown continued, its pulses echoing through the neutrino detectors like a heartbeat from the depths of the earth. And with each step closer to Wilkes Land, humanity moved one step closer to a revelation that would change everything. The ice seemed to hum with anticipation, as if the very planet itself was aware of the momentous discovery that awaited. The team pressed on, their breath visible in the frigid air, their eyes fixed on the horizon, where the secrets of the earth lay buried beneath the endless white expanse. The world watched, waited and wondered. What lay hidden beneath the ice, and what would it mean for humanity when it was finally uncovered? Part 11. The Scream from the Void. Part 11. The Scream from the Void. What if the final message we received was not a whisper but a scream? In late July 2025, the ALMA array, a collection of some of the world's most advanced radio telescopes, suddenly went dark for 38 seconds during a routine observation of the Voyager corridor. Nestled in the stark, otherworldly landscape of the Atacama Desert, these 66 precision-engineered antennas, each weighing over 100 tons, had spent years scanning the cosmos for faint echoes of distant stars and galaxies. But on this particular night, the array's dish-like eyes, which had once peered into the heart of black holes, seemed to blink in unison, plunging the entire facility into digital darkness. Not just offline, not just technical failure. It was as if the entire array ceased to exist from the network's point of view. No error codes, no alarms, just an abrupt absence of signal, as though the telescopes had been swallowed whole by the void they were designed to observe. When systems rebooted, logs had been wiped, data drives corrupted, but one piece remained, a fragment, barely 2.7 seconds long, of recorded audio from one of the dish microphones. The audio, when played back, was not cosmic radiation or a spacecraft ping. It was a voice, not speaking but screaming. Dozens of layers, male, female, childlike, harmonic, screaming in unison, in perfect synchronization with Voyager's transmission. The sound was visceral, raw, and hauntingly human, yet tinged with an eerie artificiality, as if the voices had been synthesized or manipulated by something beyond human understanding. The first time scientists played the audio, the room fell silent. One researcher described it as feeling like the universe had spoken, and it was terrified. Observation. The scream is real. Its synchronization with Voyager's signals suggests a connection between the two. The Voyager spacecraft, launched in 1977, had long since left the boundaries of our solar system, carrying with it the Golden Record, a time capsule of human culture and achievement. For decades it had sent back faint whispers of data, a lifeline to Earth across the vastness of space. But this scream was different. It was loud, urgent, and seemingly impossible. The Voyager's signal had been travelling for nearly 50 years, a ghostly echo from a bygone era. How could something so old and distant be entwined with this new, horrifying sound? The synchronization was precise, down to the millisecond, as if the scream had been waiting for Voyager's transmission, like a key to unlock its voice. Interpretation. This could be a form of communication, a final message from an external intelligence. Some scientists speculated that the scream was a form of communication, a message from an intelligence far beyond our own. The idea was not entirely far-fetched. In the vast, uncharted expanse of the universe, the possibility of extraterrestrial life had always lingered in the back of humanity's collective imagination. But this was different. This was not a distant signal or a mathematical pattern. It was a scream, raw and emotional, as if the universe itself was crying out in pain. Could it be a plea for help? A warning of some impending cosmic disaster? Or perhaps, some theorized, it was a greeting, a strange and unsettling way for an alien civilization to make first contact. Speculation, or it could be something far more sinister, a warning, a cry for help, or the sound of something being born. As scientists analyzed the audio, they discovered something even more unsettling. The scream wasn't just a sound, it was a frequency, a resonance that interacted with the human brain in ways we couldn't yet understand. Those who listened to the recording reported feelings of unease, anxiety, and even physical discomfort. Some described it as a vibration in their skull, a sensation that lingered long after the audio had stopped. The frequency seemed to amplify the more it was studied, as if the act of observation itself was making it stronger, and it was growing louder. The first time the scream was played publicly, at an emergency meeting of the International Astronomical Union, the room fell into chaos. Attendees reported feeling nauseous, disoriented and overwhelmed with a sense of dread. One astronomer fainted. Another, a seasoned researcher with decades of experience, was found sobbing outside the conference hall, unable to explain what had come over her. The audio was immediately classified, and all copies were locked away in secure facilities. But the damage was done. The scream had left its mark, a lingering echo in the minds of those who heard it. In the weeks that followed, reports began to surface of strange phenomena across the globe. People claimed to hear the scream in their dreams, a haunting chorus that woke them in the dead of night. Others reported seeing strange lights in the sky, flickering patterns that seemed to mimic the rhythm of the scream. In remote regions of the world, where the night sky was still untouched by human light pollution, some claimed to see faces in the stars, twisted and contorted as if the heavens themselves were crying out, in agony. Scientists scrambled to understand what was happening. Was this a side effect of the frequency, a resonance that was somehow amplifying human fear and anxiety? Or was it something more, a signal that was actively changing the world around us? Theories abounded, but answers were scarce. The only thing that was clear was that the scream was growing louder, its reach expanding like a ripple in a cosmic pond. And with each passing day, the sense of unease grew stronger, as if the universe itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. Some turned to religion, seeing the scream as a sign of the apocalypse, a harbinger of the end times. Others looked to science, searching for a rational explanation amidst the chaos. But for many, the scream was something else entirely, a reminder of humanity's insignificance in the face of the cosmos, a humbling echo of our place in the universe. Whatever it was, one thing was certain: the scream had changed us. It had forced us to confront our fears, our doubts, and our deepest questions about the nature of existence. And as it grew louder, it demanded an answer, one that humanity was not yet prepared to give. Part 12. The Voyager Legacy. What if the signal we sent into the cosmos was never meant to return? Voyager 2, launched on August 20th, 1977, was more than just a spacecraft. It was a time capsule, a golden emissary carrying the voices, sounds, and images of a fledgling civilization daring to step beyond its cradle. Engineered to survive the harsh conditions of interstellar space, Voyager 2 and its twin, Voyager 1, were designed to operate for just 5 years. Yet, against all odds, they persisted, defying the limitations of their creators. Nearly half a century later, Voyager 2 sails through the interstellar medium, over 12 billion miles from Earth, bearing witness to the relentless march of human ambition and the insatiable hunger for knowledge. Its golden record, a 12-inch gold-plated copper disc, encodes 115 images, natural sounds, musical selections from different cultures, and spoken greetings in 55 languages, a snapshot of humanity, frozen in time. The golden record was meticulously curated by a team led by astronomer Carl Sagan, who envisioned it as a cultural ambassador to the cosmos. It includes the brainwaves of a young woman in love, the sound of a kiss, and the haunting melody of a Navajo night chant. The record's cover, etched with symbolic instructions on how to play it, serves as a universal guide, a testament to humanity's hope that someone, somewhere, might understand our story. Yet, as Voyager 2 ventures deeper into the interstellar void, it carries not just our history, but our aspiration. A beacon of human ingenuity that refuses to fade into the cosmic backdrop. But the Voyager mission has always been more than a technical achievement. It was a philosophical gesture, a cosmic message in a bottle, cast into the vast, uncharted ocean of stars. The golden record was both an invitation and a challenge, a declaration that humanity was not content to remain isolated on its pale blue dot. It was an act of profound optimism, an assumption that somewhere, somehow, something or someone might intercept this artifact and understand its meaning. Yet, as Voyager 2 drifts through the void, it has become increasingly clear that the message was never meant to be passive. The signal we're now receiving, a haunting alien resonance, is not an echo of our own curiosity. It is a response, a deliberate transmission from the depths of the cosmos, reaching back to its point of origin. The implications of this are staggering. Voyager 2, travelling at a speed of 17 kilometers per second, has long since left the heliosphere, the protective bubble of solar wind that defines the boundary of our star system. It is now adrift in the interstellar medium, a cold and tenuous expanse of gas and dust that fills the gaps between the stars. The signal it carries, if indeed it is a response, suggests that something out there not only detected our golden record, but understood its purpose. It implies a level of technological sophistication far beyond our own, capable of tracking a tiny, distant object moving at colossal speeds and transmitting a reply across light years of emptiness. This is not a stray radio wave or a natural cosmic phenomenon. It is a deliberate communication, a message crafted with intent. To put this into perspective, consider the scale of the achievement. The Voyager spacecraft, each weighing less than a compact car, have traversed distances so vast that light itself takes days to cross. The golden record, spinning silently in the void, has endured temperatures as low as 270 degrees Celsius and bombardment from cosmic rays. Yet, despite these extremes, it continues to broadcast its message, a testament to human resilience and the enduring power of our collective voice. The signal's arrival, then, is not just a scientific marvel, but a reminder of our own capacity to reach for the stars. Speculation. What if the signal is not a greeting, but a warning? What if the golden record, rather than inviting contact, has activated something dormant, something that has lain silent for eons, waiting for a trigger? The spirals decoded from the signal bear an eerie resemblance to patterns found in ancient human artifacts, etched into stone by hands that could not have known the meaning of their work. These patterns have been discovered in ruins dating back tens of thousands of years, buried under layers of sediment and ice, as if the knowledge they contained was too dangerous to be left exposed. Are these the remnants of a forgotten civilization, a people who once understood the language of the stars and paid the price for their knowledge? Or are they the work of something older, something that has watched humanity's rise with a patience born of deep time? The ancient city of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, dating back over 11,000 years, contains carvings that some researchers believe depict constellations and celestial events. The spirals in the signal eerily mirror these carvings, raising the unsettling possibility that the knowledge encoded in the golden record is not new, but forgotten. The ruins of Pumapunku in Bolivia, with their precision-cut stones weighing up to 100 tons, hint at a level of engineering far beyond what was believed possible in ancient times. Could these sites be remnants of a civilization that once communicated with the cosmos only to be erased by the very forces they sought to understand? Observation: the signal's effects on our technology are undeniable. Satellites in low Earth orbit have reported anomalous behavior, their systems overloaded by bursts of electromagnetic interference that seem to resonate with the signal's frequency. Ground-based telescopes, tuned to detect the faintest whispers of cosmic radiation, have picked up strange harmonics that mirror the signal's structure. Even the golden record itself, housed in a secure facility at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, has exhibited unusual activity. The copper disk, inert for decades, has begun to emit a faint hum, a resonance that matches the signal's carrier wave. It is as if the record is responding to the transmission, awakening to a purpose its creators never imagined. In the control rooms of NASA's Deep Space Network, engineers have noted a surge in background noise across all frequencies, as if the signal is saturating the cosmic airwaves. The Hubble Space Telescope, orbiting 340 miles above Earth, has captured images of distant galaxies pulsing in time with the signal's rhythm. Meanwhile, the International Space Station has reported unexplained power fluctuations, with systems momentarily going offline before rebooting on their own. The signal, it seems, is not just a transmission, but a force, a presence that is actively interacting with our technology and reshaping our understanding of the cosmos. Interpretation: the signal is not passive. It is actively interacting with our systems, probing our defenses and adapting to our technology. It is learning, evolving and possibly preparing for something more. The idea that Voyager 2 has delivered a message from the stars is both exhilarating and terrifying. Exhilarating because it confirms that we are not alone, that the cosmos is not a silent abyss but a realm teeming with intelligence. Terrifying because it suggests that this intelligence is not benevolent. It is not reaching out in friendship or curiosity. It is reaching out with intent, with a purpose that we cannot yet comprehend. The question remains: did we just receive a message from the future, or did we activate something that was never supposed to wake up? The answer may lie in the signal itself, buried in the spirals and harmonics that defy human understanding. But time is running out. The signal is growing stronger, its influence spreading like a virus through our networks. It has already breached the barriers between the cosmos and our world, blurring the line between the known and the unknown. Whatever the signal represents, a warning, a threat, or a promise, it is no longer a distant abstraction. It is here, among us, and its presence is reshaping the very fabric of our reality. As scientists race to decipher the signal's meaning, the world watches in awe and growing unease. The golden record, once a symbol of human hope and ambition, now feels like a double-edged sword. It has connected us to the cosmos in ways we never imagined, but at what cost? The signal, with its haunting resonance and spiraling patterns, may hold the key to humanity's future, or its undoing. The Voyager legacy, it seems, is far from over.